Hi, and welcome back to KBR Adventures. I'm Bree, and this is my elf,
Riley.
And we just wanted to do some tree decorating today. A couple tips and tricks on how to make a really nice Christmas tree. We love Christmas, and this is one of how many trees?
Fifth.
This is our fifth tree in the house. So this is number 5, and this is our in our screened in porch. So this is actually our fun family tree where we do lots of family ornaments that Riley has made, and pictures, all the fun stuff. Inside, I have kind of decked out trees. I have a very traditional 12.5 foot in the living room, and then I have a very coastal tree. So we'll show you some of those later. But for this Christmas tree, we just wanted to go over top to bottom of what to do when you take the Christmas tree out and get it going, because I have a bit of a pet peeve when it comes to Christmas trees, right, Rye? What do I hate to see?
When the Christmas tree is not fluffed.
That's right, not fluffed. So people take their tree right out of the bag or the box and they put it up and they just start putting ornaments on it. And that's not how to do it, right, Rye?
Yeah.
Right. So we happen to have this is a 6.5 foot Balsam Hill. And Balsam Hill provides gloves, which is nice. So I like to wear the gloves or sometimes long sleeves. This way when you're going in and you're fluffing the tree, that you're not getting all scratched up. You want to make sure that when you set your tree up, that you're moving your branches so that you're not able to see that middle pole. That might mean twisting them, and then when it comes to your branches, I like to pull them up and to the side.
Yeah, because if you see your pole, that's bad.
Right, because then it doesn't look like a real tree, right? Then you know that it's not a real tree. So we try to do our best to make it look like a real tree.
And right here is the pole
Right.
of our Christmas tree, and it has brown and green.
And we don't want to see
stuff
that.
on that.
Right.
And we don't want to see that because then the Christmas tree is going to be terrible.
Right. So we want to go in and you want to fluff your branches. So I like to do one up, 2 to the side, or 1 down, 2 to the side. And then when you go in the branches, there tends to be other pliable branches that are wrapped around the pole. So you want to unwrap them and again, spread them out so you don't see the pole. So we're going to go through and fluff, and then we're going to come back. Okay, now that my elf and I have finished fluffing the tree, the next step is lighting. So after you fluffed your tree, if you don't have a pre-lit Christmas tree, this is the time to string your lights on the Christmas tree. Ours happens to be pre-lit, so you want to give us some options?
Okay, yeah. So our first one is clear lights.
Clear lights.
Our second one is color lights.
Okay, colored lights.
And then the third one is all of the lights.
All the lights.
So you get the colorful ones and the ones.
So for this tree, we happen to do all the colored lights and the white lights together because it just makes it brighter and fuller. And we like to do the lights because that's the next step, right? We fluff the tree, we do the lights, but it helps to see when you're doing the ornaments how the ornaments are going to look and help with the placement of ornaments. But before we do ornaments, we usually go in and we do one of 2 things or both, and that is ribbon or garland. So when it comes to your tree, do you need to do ribbon and garland? Absolutely not. Does it add a little pizzazz? I think so. You don't have to go crazy. It's up to you. You could do one, you could do both. So it's up to you. With this tree, I'm going to do the ribbon for this tree, but I'm going to show you quick on what you would do when it comes to the garland. So you would start at the top, and usually I go from the back of the tree and come around. I like to do a nice loop with it, so I hang it towards the front of the branches, and it gives a nice, just a little extra something. And I go down and around, and I make sure that I have enough garland on hand that I'm fully able to get around the tree from the front to the back. You can do different size garland. This happens to be a little bit thinner. If you want, you can go in and do something a little bit bulkier and give it, again, a little something. And you would go around and just drape it.
Yeah,
and then you'd hide your strings, you tuck them in. This, when it comes to ribbon garland, I like to do it closer to the edge of the branch so you really get to see it. Because if you pop it in too far, then you lose the effect.
Yeah, because then, like, some people can't see it.
Right, then you don't see the pretty garland, right?
Yeah,
and that's the whole point.
You want to see it because then it looks nice.
Right.
Very nice.
All right, but let's show you how to do ribbon. Okay, now that our lights are done and we decided not to do garland for this tree this year, we're gonna go in and we're going to do the ribbon.
Yeah.
So, a couple things when it comes to ribbon for your tree. You can get ribbon that has boning in it, and it makes it so that you're able to crimp it a little bit easier, or you can get ones without. I prefer to have a little bit sturdier of an edge, so I like something that is bendable. And I start at the top of the tree and then I work my way down. With ribbon, you can either cascade it throughout or you can wrap it around. I usually like to start at the top, bring it down and under, and then I go back up and I use one spool of ribbon to do the whole thing. Or you can measure it and cut it in strips if that's easier for you. So I like to start at the top. Riley, can you hold my, thank you. So I start at the top of my tree. I find a pliable branch that I'm able to wrap around, and I usually give it a little loop. Then I take my ribbon and I bow it out. So I'm connected up top there, I bow it out, and I bring it back into the tree, and I find another piece of pliable.
Wait, but Mom.
Yeah.
What if you don't have the that much ribbon to put on your Christmas tree?
Well, then you need to make sure you get enough ribbon to do the Christmas tree. With doing it this route, you can use less ribbon if you do it in strips or you're doing it the way that I'm doing it. If you decide that you want to go around the Christmas tree, you're definitely going to need a lot more ribbon. So you want to make sure that you have enough material on hand. So I say buy a couple extra spools, and you could either keep what you don't use for other projects, or you could return it when you're done.
Mom, why can you put like 2 pieces of different ribbon on the Christmas tree?
Yeah, you could absolutely. I sometimes like to do a pattern like this one. This is a plaid pattern, and then I would maybe also go in and do a gold. That might be a gold solid, just to give it a little bit of a different look.
Yeah, and you might like ribbon that is Christmas color because it's Christmas.
Right, well, depending on your tree. Well, you have a tree upstairs in your toy room, and your tree color combo has pink and silver and white.
Yeah.
So Riley,
mine are all like desserts. They're
right.
Like marked.
Yours is a sweet tree, right? So it's like a sweet tree. So that, in that sense, she has pink ribbon. So I like to cascade it down, and you could do it on an angle, you could do it straight. So I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna finish the ribbon, and then we'll come back with what's next after ribbon? Ornaments. Okay, ribbon is done. We've cascaded it throughout the tree. I did one pattern of ribbon this year. Sometimes I do 2. This year I did the plaid. If you wanted to, you could go in with a solid, maybe like a nice gold, and do the same thing, but through your pattern pieces. I have like the perfect amount because I used it last year of a roll. So I do about 4 strands on each side. All right, and that brings us to what, Rye? Ornaments! So time to decorate the tree, right? With all our ornaments. So Riley's gonna give us some do's and don'ts when it comes to ornaments.
Okay.
So what do you have for us, Rye?
These 2 big balls I'm starting with.
These 2 big balls. All right, these 2 big ornaments.
Okay. So, first, when you have 2 balls, and they're the same color,
Right.
and say you want to put them next to each other, don't do that.
Okay, so never put 2 of the same ornaments that are the same pattern and color together, right?
Yeah.
What else? What else is wrong with this picture?
What's wrong with this? Never put these big ornaments on the top.
Right.
Put them on the bottom.
Right.
Then it's middle, then it's little.
Okay, so we start with smaller ornaments at the top, and then we work our way down from small, from medium to large.
Yeah.
As we work our way down. Okay, and what else do I like to do?
you like to do, you like to get like a similar, like the color that you like.
Right,
Like,
I pick a color
same
combination.
color.
So for this year, this tree, we are going to do silver, gold, red, and white. So I like to mix and match all the different colors with different patterns and textures. So when I buy the ornaments, I make sure that I get an assortment. If I'm doing white, that I have flat white, that I might have a decorative white, a sparkle glitter white, and the same goes for all the coordinating colors. So that when I start with my tree, when we put these ones up, the next set will be different. The red will be a solid red, the gold might be the glitter, this might be a muted, and so on. So then it makes the tree a little bit more decorative looking, still really cohesive, but it gives it a little bit more of a decorative vibe. So will you work on putting those up? Okay, so while Riley's putting up these, we'll go over hooks, because not all hooks are alike. When you're doing your tree, and you're using your ornaments, you're gonna use your ornaments year after year. Don't worry about it. That's why I use Shatterproof. So I like to make sure that I invest in a decent hook. I happen to pick up this 50 count ornament set from Target to add in on my tree this year. And it came with hooks, which is very lovely of them to do, to give you hooks. But the hooks that they give you are really kind of chintzy and cheesy. So I like to make sure that I have enough hooks on hand. And I prefer a decorative hook, something that has like a little bit of an extra like gem to it that sparkles with the lights when it hits it. However, when you're using smaller ornaments, it's not always the greatest, because then it hangs too low and you can't get as tight to the branch as you want. So then you might want to do a regular ornament hook that comes in the big pack. These are better for the smaller ones. It just helps when it comes to if you want to get them really close to the branch. But my favorite hook is similar hook to this, but it's less decorative. It's easier to slide the ornament on and off. This way it pops on and off. And this one happens to have a nicer opening for the branch, because sometimes when you get the decorative ones, they're a little bit tight. So then you have to kind of like pry them open. So this is my favorite kind of hook to use. These ones sit a little bit tighter, and also it goes on the branch nice, and you have plenty of room to hang on. So make sure you invest in some good hooks, or sometimes they come with pre-done strings, which makes it easy for Riley to put on and help with the tree, so that's always great. Aside from your regular ball ornament, make sure that you get an assortment of ornaments that hang. I like to use like icicles, and another thing I like to do to help with some depth is get something like a big snowflake. Because if your tree isn't as full as ours, like I said, not all artificial trees are made alike. This is something you can use where you can stick it in and get more of a depth. So this way it hides that middle of the tree, it still gives you a nice full look, and then you can add in some of your icicles to hang off to give you a little bit more sparkle and a little bit more design to it. And then go in and make sure you fill in with all your family ones. I have all kinds of every year we do a picture ornament, we give as gifts, and then we keep one for our tree. So my tree is nice and full of family ornaments, of everybody that comes and celebrates with us and everyone that we love. So we're gonna get to decorating, and we'll show you the end result when we're done. So tree is done, all decorated. I did want to just show that if you think that you need a little bit extra something when it comes to the ribbon, you can get a solid. I had used this one last year, and you can either cut it in little strips and just kind of bend it and shove it in the tree, or you can leave it long. These are strips. I don't have these in rolls. I pre-cut these, and then I would put them through just like I did the other ribbon and go down with it. So I think I'm going to leave the gold out this year, but again, another option. And I finished off the tree by putting on some bows and a couple of gold flowers, just to kind of add, again, some depths. They go right on the end of the branches. But last and not least, make sure you finish your tree off with either a tree collar or a tree skirt so that you're not seeing the bottom of the tree, okay? This one happens to be on wheels, so I don't want to see the wheels, so I'm going to end the tree with a nice skirt on the bottom. I don't go crazy with the bigger balls on the bottom of this tree because we also do a train. So I will maybe do a follow-up video when we do the train. But you're gonna get down there and get your tree skirt on to finish off the look. So this one is a really nice one that we happen to get from Pottery Barn, and it has our last name stitched in it, so it's a nice finishing touch of the tree. So if you've liked, we hope that you follow, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more or you have any questions. Happy holidays.